Hey John, we were gonna do k3s, but I couldn't get it to work, so we're gonna go with what I do know. So to install, we're over here at k3s on the documentation page, and we can't go with the quick start guide because we need to disable the load balancers. So that comes from in here. We can do this afterwards if it's still on there, but I don't remember how to do it. So we're just going to pass this in to the command. So the command, I'll copy and paste it into the web page so that we have it. But we're going to run the same configuration command. We're going to pass in the configuration with binary right here. So we have that right-config mode 644. This is just for the cube config, I think, to make it so that we don't have to run it in sudo every time. And then we're going to disable the service load balancers, and we'll let that script run real quick. And it should only take a minute. And then we have to run in code we have to run a different script to get the agent up, which is what they call it in k3s, which would be also the worker node. So yeah, I guess I should have said that. This is the host machine. This is our server machine that we're running the command in first. Down here is the remote. This is going to be our worker node that we're going to run it in. So I already have this. I tested this earlier. However, we're going to have a new token. And that comes from these commands here. So you can see you throw in the URL. In this case, I'm just throwing in my IP address and then the port, that runs on port 6443. And then the password is the k3s token that we're going to get from here. That actually it's easiest to find from the quick start guide. So if we look at the quick start guide, it does tell us where it's at. It says it's at this location. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this guy, and we'll run sudo cat to get what's in there. And don't worry about expose. I'll undo this afterwards so you can see my token. No big deal, but typically probably shouldn't show this in a YouTube video. And we'll run it like this. And this should download and attach it to the cluster. We'll give it a pause so that this can download without you watching it. I'm sorry, Denali. You cannot lick your skin off. I know. I know, girl. Made me feel so bad.
I feel like she's saying, Dad, I'm sorry. I won't do it no more. I'm so sorry, Dad.
Cool. Now that that's done, we can grab our kubeconfig file, which you probably are gonna, that's gonna exist right here. So we want to create it so that it's not attached to root, because everything in root in this under Etsy folders belongs to root. So we're going to cat it instead of copying it. And we're going to go ahead and just put it into a kubeconfig file that we can find. You'll notice that I made a folder. That's what this is. So that's where we're at. That's not a file. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna export kubeconfig to this file, which we can talk about later, and we can set it up so it runs default, but kubectl get nodes, and here's our server, and here's our worker. So it says control plane, that means it's a server node, and says none means it's an agent node. So that's all there is to doing this. The next thing we need to do is install load balancers.